Hello, Dr. Michael Arnon here, and this time we're talking about your freedom of religion, a very important topic. Well, we have Article 9 of the European Convention on Human Rights, which guarantees freedom of religion. So, that's that, isn't it? No, unfortunately, it's not quite that simple. We'll come back to Article 9 in a future video. For now, I want to talk about the historical or even hysterical background to this religious issue, because the position still remains in this country that a Catholic cannot be king or queen. That means the reigning queen or king. The law was changed in 2013 to allow the king or queen and other members of the royal family to marry a Catholic, but they themselves cannot be a Catholic. So if you're a Catholic, you are not in line for the throne. I'm sorry. Well, maybe you're not too disappointed, but there are a few other things you have to do as well. One thing is you have to pick your parents very carefully, and it's quite a good idea to be the son or daughter of a king or queen. So that's another thing. But a Catholic cannot be king or queen, regnant queen regnant of this country. What about Buddhists? A Buddhist? Yes. Or a Muslim or a Hindu? Probably could be. The law is only that a Catholic can't be. That's discriminatory, I suppose you'd have to say, although it doesn't affect most people. But it ties in with the titles borne by the king. The king, since 1521, has had the title Defender of the Faith. In Latin, granted originally in Latin by Pope Leo X to King Henry VIII as Fidei Defensor, Defender of the Faith. But what that meant was Defender of the Catholic Faith, because the Pope was giving it to the king for his tract, a theological tract, which Henry VIII had written himself, attacking Martin Luther and the Protestant Reformation, and upholding papal authority. Yes, Henry VIII was a great upholder of papal authority back then. But, of course, a few years down the line, he changed his mind, because he wanted a divorce from his wife, who wasn't able to provide him with a male heir, and the Pope wouldn't grant him a divorce. So he simply, very, very daringly, pulled out of the Catholic Church altogether. He pulled the Church of England out of the Catholic orbit and made it an independent church under himself. To this day, the King or Queen of England is, well, the United Kingdom now, is Supreme Governor of the Church of England. Supreme Governor. That doesn't mean they run it from day to day. No, it's more of a titular thing, nominal headship, but that is what it is. It's a headship. And the Church of England became a Protestant church, not in theology, but in church government. Also gave Henry VIII the opportunity of robbing the monasteries, which were dissolved, and he took all the wealth from them, which was a great amount. But I don't think that was the main object, though. The main objective was to get that divorce, which, of course, in his new Church of England, he was obviously granted. So what happened to the title Defender of the Faith in that case? How come, as Bernard has just pointed out, that title is still used today? Here's a penny just minted a couple of years ago under the late Queen Elizabeth, where the title still appears, abbreviated FD, Fidei Defensor, Defender of the Faith. How could they still be holding that title from 1521? Well, no. When Henry VIII broke away from the Church of Rome, the Pope naturally revoked that title and, what is more, excommunicated King Henry. But Parliament gave the title back to him. But this time it didn't mean Defender of the Catholic Faith. It meant Defender of the new Protestant Church of England. And that's what it means to this day. Now, there's a problem there because in 1994, Prince Charles, the Prince of Wales, who is about to become King Charles, well, he is now Charles III, is about to be crowned as such in a few months' time. In 1994, he said when he became king, he did not want to be defender of the faith, he wanted to be defender of faith. Well, in terms of Latin grammar, that is actually not incorrect, because Latin does not have a word for the or a. So Fidei Defensor could be translated as defender of the faith or simply defender of faith. Of course, when it was granted by the Pope, it referred to defender of the Catholic faith, and when it was granted to Henry by Parliament, it meant defender of the Protestant Church of England. And that's what it means now. So if Charles wishes to reinterpret it, and if it's in English, he would have to drop the word the from it and be defender of faith, singular though, not plural, not defender of faiths, just defender of faith. That would probably cause a certain amount of dispute in certain quarters, both political and religious. Remains to be seen what happens over that. But the point is that this country, since Henry's break with Rome, this country has regarded itself as Protestant. And the head of the church is the king, supreme governor, supposedly, and the coronation itself is a religious ceremony presided over by the Archbishop of Canterbury, who crowns the king and anoints the king as well with oil. And the king throughout the ceremony is flanked by two bishops of the Church of England, the Bishop of Gloucester and the Bishop of Bath and Wells. This has been the situation for hundreds of years, very much rooted in the Protestant faith. And as you may have noticed, during the accession ceremony, accession proclamation, a great deal of time was spent actually securing, is the word used, securing the Protestant Church of Scotland, of which the king is not the head, but which is independent of government, but which is the National Church of Scotland, a Protestant church, in fact Presbyterian. So we have that tradition going all the way back to Henry VIII. How does that all affect your religious freedom? Or does it? I'll come back to that in a later video. Catch you later.